give this a sec, make sure that everything is online as it should be. Yes, okay, cool. We are live, we are live. Alright, yeah, welcome into our new and improved Session 0. We're a little late this evening. First game we've had in, well, in about 2 weeks, and then some. We got some new characters to introduce today. A couple of our players, they unfortunately could not come through for the rest of the sessions due to IRL stuff. There was just that natural disasters that happened, you know, a little over 2 weeks ago, and then the college kids are going into classes and all this and that. So we got some new characters to introduce. We got a new direction we're kind of taking the story, and we have some returning characters. Everyone's starting out at level 3. I don't want to take away your progress or items or anything like that if you haven't rerolled a character, but if you have, then I imagine you don't have the items that you once did, and you got, you know, some new things, small changes, big changes. We got a lot to discuss over this next few minutes, so let's get into that. Sorry. I'm gonna apologize a lot just because it's my anxiety going. So who wants to start off first? I feel like we should jump into one of the newer guys and let them take home. So Shanty or Diablo, which one of you guys want to introduce yourselves?
As in character, or what do you mean exactly?
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your character, its build, the background. You don't have to go into complete depth or anything. What they look like, you know, give us a representation of what your character is and what they look like, stuff like that.
All right, yeah, my character's Valen Arendor. He's a changeling bard with 1 level in cleric to give some heals. He's like a changeling. He's got completely white skin, white hair, white eyes. He can change, of course, at will. So his features might change slightly over time. But yeah, he's got big long ears. He's kind of slim. Kind of a little luxurious looking. Tries to keep himself looking good. His background, he got brought up on the streets. He grew up loving music and trying to play to crowds. And when he reached adulthood, he went by the teachings of the traveler and got a little bit of cleric in him.
Okay. Yeah. That was bestowed upon him during a sleep, right? Next to a campfire or something. So
Yeah.
The traveler being a god of, I have to look back again, but it was something along the lines of
The traveler is generally a the god of changelings. Changelings generally follow the teachings of the traveler.
Yeah, so change
amongst
and
other
trickery.
races.
Yeah, so change and trickery. So being a bard, being a traveler and going through different not realms, but you know, different counties and countries, different towns performing. You've learned a lot of things through your travels and whatnot. One of the things that you ended up learning was that there's an ancient relic that people are in search for, and you taken this upon yourself to try and go search for. You don't really know much about this relic other than King Ismar is, or I'm sorry, Baron Ismar is interested in this for some reason. So if I can find my old notes, because it's been a little bit since we've done this. I'm not entirely prepared for all this, but that's all right. I just need to. Oh, this is everybody's backstory. I guess I did have it. Where is? I know where I can find it. Give me just a sec. I'll read a little introduction if I can find the link. There it is. Okay, so anyway, so your character has heard of this relic through its travels. Baron Ismar was preceded into his newfound governmental seat following the reign of I think I'm sorry. I'm a little caught off guard. I don't think I've ever mentioned the old Baron. Yeah. Okay, I never have. So yeah, so new Baron or Baron Ismar is a new Baron within the governmental seat, and the region is in an economic decline, and everybody is pointing at Baron Ismar. You feel that it has something to do with these runes. You hear everybody talking about these runes and warlocks and druids. So he was put into his new government seat due to the region's rise in criminal activities, rumors of evil druids trying to summon entities of great power, and the once large mining company that kept the region thriving outside of the coastal port towns, Dregson Mining Companies. They have been bought out, raided, rebuilt under a new unknown authority. Multiple town officials sent out contracted letters seeking aid to various surrounding regions, which is one of the ways that you first ran into this search for these special like rune rocks. The Baron is too proud to admit fault and to address the people that there is anything wrong at all, so you decided that you would travel to the region of Wheaye and find out what's really going on. You being a bard and of talents, you found this to be a intriguing adventure that could lead your name into the history books where people would write songs about you and your name would live in infamy and whatnot. So you kind of have to learn a little bit more about these rocks that everyone was talking about. The only information you really found out was that the mining company Dregson accidentally came across these runes, and they were bringing in scholars, and they found out that these runes were, ancient rocks do that held power for some sort of ritual. So that's kind of like all your character would know about this, and you thought that you could try to find one of these rocks, and that has led you to the town of Skylight, arriving in by boat. And Skylight is the capital port city of Wheaye. All right, sorry, it's kind of thrown together at last minute. Like I said, it's going to be a little bit rough. I didn't have a lot of time to work or prepare for a story change, but hey, we're here for it. I hope you guys, any questions, I hope it don't go too rough. Shanty, you wanna, or Shantae?
It's Chente.
Okay, Shente. Yeah. So I'll just call you Ignacio. Yeah, Ignacio. Sorry. All right.
Ego is fine. Ego.
Okay, ego's cool too. Okay. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your character.
All right. So Ignacio is a 6'2", about 180 pounds man. He's 21 years old.
Okay.
He has a light tan skinned. Uh, but the most like pronounced feature would be his amethyst eyes. He just has very bright purple eyes, even though he's just a human. He has really messy black hair, but he does have two braids on either side of his, like behind his ears.
Mm-hmm.
And clothes wise, he normally wears his leather armor, but the kind of belt straps that connect it together are always open. He likes to show his chest because he likes the look of all of his scars.
Okay. What?
And
Sorry, go ahead.
uh, uh, he wears dark cotton pants with big clunky boots, like a medieval punk rocker.
Oh, okay. I can get down with that. Oh yeah. So what kind of class is he? What's a bit about his backstory?
So, man, I honestly kind of forgot.
No problem. So, Valen, another thing. I'm sorry that I should have went over this. The entity that corrupted you through, or that you change into. I don't want to say corrupted, but the thing that you change into, right? That is kind of how else you found out about this. You got that vision from the travelers sleeping by the campfire, and that traveler showed you what one of the runes looked like, and it is a specific rock that you would be after.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just it looks like a normal ordinary stone, but you do notice a marking in it. Would you be able to give me a perception check? Just a or what's your flat deception or whatever, passive perception.
Passive. Let me take a look. My passive perception is 14.
Okay. So this being the first vision of this god presenting itself to you, and kind of you accepting it into your life and whatnot, the rock has a single line that glows blue, and it looks like there's more that's carved into it, although it is not glowing yet. So there's just this oval rock, and it has a single diagonal line that's glowing blue.
All right.
Just for some more flavor. So yeah, back to Ignacio. Sorry. I'll get it. Trust me. I was struggling with Spring's character the last session. All right. So yeah, do you have his backstory found?
Oh yeah. So he has 2 levels in fighter and 1 level in rogue.
Mm-hmm.
He has the folk hero background,
Okay.
and his the general gist of his backstory is that he used to be a miner for the Drexen Mining Company until one of the mines shut down, and then he previously was a part-time bartender, but now he's full-time bartender,
Oh,
just trying to get as much money as he can for his family,
perfect.
all the tips possible.
All right. Perfect. What so if he was part of the Drigson Mining Company, what town would he hail from? If looking at the map here. What would be his home city?
His home city probably Locaire?
Lokar? Okay.
I don't
Perfect. No,
I'm
that's great.
guessing all of these have mines in it.
Yeah, yeah, I'll as you guys explore the region and the world, I'll add little marks or notes of what is where as you discover it, right?
Oh, okay.
So the stuff that's added now, like if you look next to Blue Church, there's like this cave inside those rocks. Those are genuinely like well known. Anybody knows that thing is there, what it is, stuff like that. So if you see anything like that's already added, it's because it's common knowledge that people know that it's there. So,
Okay.
all right, but you're is there anything else going on with that, or because I think I kind of interrupted you. I'm not sure.
Um, hold on. Gotta reread some of it. Yeah. One of the mines that collapsed, some of his best friends that he also worked with died in that collapse. And it was just a mixture of that and just struggling with the money with his family
Mm-hmm.
that he kind of got fed up with, just like kind of the government pretty much.
All right,
So,
perfect. So, be-
and
sorry, go ahead. I didn't know that there was more. I'm sorry.
uh,
Seems I have a bad habit.
yeah, sorry about that.
No, no.
No, my back story is long. I don't even whatever. So he kind of just like got resentful of kings, queens, just kind of all royalty. And one day while he was bartending, he overheard some talk and chatter about a revolution, and he
Mm.
decided to join. But it very quickly fell apart, and because of that, he kind of went on the run. But he likes the idea of revolutions, anything like that. So he's trying to rebuild his own.
Okay, perfect. That's actually awesome. That we can definitely work that in. Uh, when I'm not, 7 minutes late and had no time to really iron stuff out. Very amateur of me. I'm so sorry. So anyway, okay, so yeah, because you were in the mines, what what caused the collapse was there was a solo miner. They were working off in their own like little section, right? And they hit a patch of hollow wall. Give me a what's your passive perception?
I think it's just a 10.
A 10? You didn't quite
Yeah.
catch on to what they were doing as you were working on your own little section and just picking away at the scab, but you did hear some unfamiliar like hollowness to this wall, and after a couple several strikes the wall began to collapse. As you were running out and your time working in the mine, you've been hearing discussions that the mining companies in the surrounding area have been finding these like ritualistic type rooms and altars and different stones like that. It didn't really mean much to you at this time until until the mines started to get raided by orcs and by bandits that were, for all you know, just trying to take over these mines. Being a miner in this region is a very dangerous, very lucrative business, and mining raids on mines isn't really anything out of the ordinary. Orcs constantly trying to capture slaves or captives for their own projects, but there was something particular about the raid that happened on yours after this collapse. And what the what caught or what caught your eye was the symbol of a kraken that one of the orcs were wielding on their shield. After this, like you said, you fled, you tried to join a revolution to fight back against the government and its corruptiveness, and that also has led you to the city of Skylight, where you feel that you could hide within the crowd. You can blend in better in a larger city.
All right.
So I know it's not a lot of information, but that's just stuff you noticed throughout your travels. Being in the revolution, I guess you would know the political ladder a little bit more. So Baron Easmer overtook Baron, we'll say Barnell. I did have all these in a note. I just can't. I recently cleaned out my computer and I have not been able to locate those notes, and that is my bad. So anyway, so yeah, Baron Easmer overtook Baron Burnell. And this is what kind of caused a revolution is the people feel that Baron Ismar is not doing good enough. There's thievery and other crime on the rise, and he's not doing enough to push back on that. On top of that, orcs and other bandit bands are raiding your mining industries and trying to take control of the flow of, you know, iron and coal and just those type of resources. For what reason, you're totally not sure. One of the conspiracies that has been floating around in that revolutionary scene is that Baron Ismar might be behind this, but how can he also, one of the questions raised is also, how can he control an army of orcs? And you think that the answer lies within this symbol of a kraken.
All right.
All right.
Taking
So
notes.
yeah, it's all good because I'm glad you are, because I'm not, and I'm gonna forget about this next session. All right. So anyway, moving on. So Ragnar, Zalik, or now Lothric, which one do you guys want to do to introduce yourselves?
I can go first for Lothric.
Okay.
Yeah, so my character is Lothric. If you were in the previous sessions, it was a Totio, so name shift and also class shift. The race is still the same as an Eladrin elf. The token image is still accurate, so blonde hair down to the shoulders, a very thin, kind of spindly and tall elf. And if you know anything about Eladrin elves, they have these seasonal shifts, which can kind of give this aura or glow to them depending on what sort of season they're in, so to speak. For my character, at least right now, sort of imagine them in this sort of summery haze and aura around them. So this orange, golden sort of glow around them, with this really natural but ornate sort of jewelry and garbs on them. And they are a draconic bloodline sorcerer.
Perfect. Okay. So yeah, tell us a bit about your backstory.
Yeah, and I don't know how much I can get into based off of like the story, like everything like we covered last time in the backstory, like I can say now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. So my character was a friend, sort of an outsider that was accepted to a druid village that was housing a very powerful artifact, and it was a well protected with spells village that was very hard to get access to. But at a drunken night in a tavern, at one point, a certain powerful individual sort of discerned the password from my drunken babbling and gained access to the village. I arrived too late after awaking from my drunken stupor to it being raided and the artifact being taken, just in time for me to get my shit rocked and pass out.
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened, and that was a collaborative thing. Yeah, that was a collaborative thing that we came up with. So what they took again was I forget exactly what we called it. It's been quite a while. I did have a clever name for it. One second. I still have the notes here actually.
Yeah, me too. I went with the generic powerful artifact that totally has.
Yeah. 1 second. Oh, okay. It was Izmir is overtaken by Baron Bremol, so I wasn't too far off of that. Zalik. Okay, here we are. It was the. Yeah, it was a golden gyroscope and the Aether compass. That's what it was called. The Aether compass. So yeah, you pass out. But in your haze or in your unconscious mind, I guess, or conscious mind, a vision of the I guess like a high priest druid or some sort of druid god-like figure. What was the leader or something? You said you were related to somebody in the higher up there, right?
Ooh, I don't remember that part. I know at least for my sorcerer class, it was a dragon at some point as a part of my ancestry, but can't remember the higher up class part.
Okay. Okay, so let's just say that you had a vision from a dragon, and he explains to you that you need to get this Aether Compass back, and he feels the best place for you to begin your search for this compass would be in the town of Skylight, and he doesn't really give you much clues to go off of from that, other than look for the Kraken, and then you'll be waking up in a inn eventually. All right. I think oh my goodness. Okay, never mind. My wife took out the dog. I was about to get up and go do that. Okay, Zalik or Ragnar? Do you any of you want to go for which one of you want to go first?
I can go ahead. Oh, you go ahead. You go ahead.
You can go.
No, it's all you. It's all you.
All right. So my guy is called Ranagar Ilinath. You can call him Ran, and he has 2 levels in Druid and 1 in Monk, and his background is that of a guide. So his backstory is basically that he's this he really loves the Underdark because he's a druid and he really loves it. He thinks it's the best thing ever, even though it's like the worst place ever. And he also works as a guide so that others can go through it and then go out into another place. So it's like he's a guide, but he's also kind of like
You're dropping a little bit. You dropped there.
hello. And you,
Yeah. Hello.
Okay. So yeah, I was saying like he's not just a guy, but he also like smuggles people to another part of the world. Or I mean, the Underdark is like another plane of existence, so that is a thing. But the way he finds himself with this new group is that he was guiding these people, and they they went to this church that was on the way, and they just started killing people. And he was like, it's not my problem, and he just escaped. But there was this guy with a kraken tattoo with a golden gyroscope,
Yeah.
and I forgot. He said he was just found. Was that correct?
Yeah. So you were sitting in the Bright Moon Tavern at Blue Church. I had a whole thing written out here. But yeah, so you were sitting in the Bright Moon Inn in Blue Church. And after the agreement of accompanying this man with the Kraken tattoo holding the gyroscope, it was him and like 12 others. You started to make your way to Nightwall against the foothills, and a few days later, the group gathers and you begin to dig into the earth, opening up the portal. The group steps in and lands in a forest. Some people in the party seemed uneasy, but for the sake of just getting the job done and over with, you lend half-hearted reassurance to get them moving, explaining along the way the different wildlife and plants and what their uses are. It took you about 2 days to get them where they need to be, and they begin to questioning your directions, claiming that they're lost and they're tired and, you know, stuff like that. The man with the tattoo harshly tells them all to shut up and to trust you. And about another day or so, you land at the village of Lindhet. Lindit, I guess. I don't know how to pronounce that town name. It was the easiest one I could find. The man with the tattoo hands you a pouch of gold and platinum, and you notice the golden shine that protrudes from his robe pocket. He smiles wide, says thanks, and while you open to inspect the payment, they knock you out. And yeah, a vision comes to you as well. And what is you? I don't believe that your character is religious at all, right? Or has any connection to any otherworldly built beings?
Well, unless you count the Underdark as a being, no, not really.
Okay, so a random tiefling, someone like just this random big bulky tiefling, awaits by your side as you wake up, and he kind of explains that he found you laying in the woods and that it didn't seem like a great place to sleep, and that you should you should basically take a rest and let him help you. Having no other choice but to trust the tiefling, you find yourself also in Skylight. You don't know who the tiefling is. When you awoke, he was gone. But he was taller than an average tiefling and a lot more stockier. He talked with a sense of with like a sense of bravado, right, about him. Like he was very well spoken, and he just seemed more, I don't want to say clean, but more regal than, you know, a tiefling would, like a normal tiefling would present himself. So yeah, with that information, you can do with what you want. What's some of your character goals, or what is driving your character for to be an adventurer? Like, are you after revenge, or what? I mean, you got your job done. You also got robbed. So what's your character's plan from here?
Well, it's to share his love for the Underdark with all he meets.
Okay.
And being an adventurer, it's a good way for people to trust you. So,
Okay, and having that affinity to explore and document the different aspects of the Underdark, like the fauna, the flora, architecture, religions, you're interested in all aspects of it. So it will be interesting to see where that could lead your character. Okay, so Zelik, last but not least, and one of the most charismatic tieflings to roam the realm.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I'll be playing Zalik. So he's an 18-year-old tiefling boy. Um, his class is a warlock, and I'll get into that a little more. But he grew up in I guess Asmodeus is where tieflings are from. He grew up with his father, his mother, and he has 3 brothers. Um, you don't need to know too many details about them as of now, but the long story short is that his family are all pretty powerful sorcerers. They were all born with magic, except for him. Zalik's a lot different than his brothers. You know, his brothers are all very studious, studying how to use their magic, trying to be high achievers, impress their father, who is a like mid to high ranking government officer in the city they live in. And Zalik's not quite like his brothers. You know, growing up without magic, he felt like an outsider. And he watched his brothers do all these cool spells and learning, and he never could really participate. So he spent a lot of his childhood sneaking out and adventuring. He wanted to find people like him. He wanted to find adventure. One of his big flaws is he's very impulsive. So oftentimes he'd disappear from his home for days at a time, whether he goes to some gambling ring to watch or some underground fight club. Oftentimes he'd get himself in trouble, whether it was, stealing some cool gadget or getting involved with a woman he shouldn't. That's pretty much his childhood.
Oh, okay.
And
Fair
one
enough.
day, yeah. And so oftentimes when he'd disappear for days, his dad being a mid to high ranking government officer, he'd send out his the people under him and they'd go find Zalek and drag him back home. He'd get grounded and all that would do is make him want to sneak out more. So one day he goes exploring into the fire fields, He decides to go for a nature walk and he stumbled into a cave. He was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And in that cave, some disturbance in magic occurred. And whether it was a portal or he just phased out of that reality, he doesn't quite remember. It was pretty hazy for him. But he basically, through a magic ritual, unbeknownst to him, teleported into Wheaye, which was the doing of a novice druid or sorcerer or warlock, some magic user basically trying to prove himself amongst whatever group they belonged to that was trying to summon demons and powerful beings. Well, some novice tried to prove his worth and accidentally teleported Zalek here. Now, being away from home, in this new land for a prolonged period of time, his father basically, through, his father also being a powerful sorcerer, communicated to him and became his patron and gave him warlock powers to help him defend himself on his journey. And, his father had a different vision for how Zalek would grow up, but he realized, all of this growing up, he needed to share some of the power and let Zalek go on his own adventure and journey.
That's great. So yeah, so in the original session 0 that we had like a month and a half ago, those sorcerers said to drag you off to the Dunbach mines. That didn't happen. That was, in the previous. This time they say that just leave him for dead. We got more things to worry about. So while you lay there in the cold world with all these weird noises chirping around you and different, animals out in the distance, or what you could assume just noises, your father comes into your vision and he says you need to travel to Skylight. Your destiny starts here. So taking this short vision of your father, you have no idea about this town. You ask a couple locals, follow through the paths, and it seems as if just destiny itself has you stumbling into Skylight. So
Awesome.
so yeah, I think do what?
I was gonna say at this point, I would say this is the moment he gains magic powers, basically the warlock abilities.
Yeah.
At this point, I would say he doesn't know how he got them.
Yeah. And maybe he'll discover that throughout the story, because like the only thing that is changing off of the original go through, the original go through, is the starting point and how you got here. That's the only thing that I'm going to try to change from the original story. I just have to find a way to just push you in the right direction, right? Because now I guess we can go over session 0, some of this stuff that you guys have already heard, but for the newcomers, it is definitely something that we need to talk about and lay down rules that we can all agree on, and different different things like that. So let me get on my phone. I got notes from the first time we played, hoping that they're still here. They are. Terrific. Oh, this is all backstory stuff. God damn, I type so much. Okay, here they are. So yeah, so welcome into our session 0. As you guys already know, we just introduced our heroes, and we got a couple house rules and expectations to establish before we actually dive into this campaign. We're gonna have to follow TABA's TOS when we play. We're gonna have to follow Discords and YouTubes and Twitches and, you know, all that jazz. So the campaign's not gonna get too wild. But one thing I'd like to talk about and get your guys' opinion. Originally in the campaign, we were rolling critical hits by ×2 damage. You make one roll times the total by 2. There's a couple ways that we can go about this. Do you guys want to keep the ×2? Do you want to do it by the book, or do you want to use the like no shit crit method? So, or we can do exploding dice if any of you guys know anything about those. How do we want to handle critical hits as a party? Because the method you guys choose will be also used against you when you fight monsters.
I'm good
I
with
mean-
sticking with that, with what we're doing, unless anyone has a strong opinion of another way to do it. But I'm pretty cool with any mechanism.
What's the exploding dice?
So
I don't know if I.
the exploding dice I am really kind of not a fan of, but when it works, it works. It's just the chances, you got a 5% chance of it actually working. So when you roll a critical, you roll another d20 to see if you crit again, and if you do, you roll another d20 and another d20 until you stop rolling critical hits. Once you tally up how many critical hits you got in a row, you roll that many critical times. So, you know, damage plus damage squared, basically, for as many criticals as you rolled in a row.
I see. I mean, it's kind of fun sounding, but
Yeah.
I think it would take a long time. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a method I'm not really a fan of, but I figured I'd put it out there, you know. So the no shit crit is your max damage from your first roll. No matter what, it's max damage, and then you roll another set of damage on top of that and add them both together. So it's kind of like by the book, except your first roll is an automatic max damage. And then whatever damage you roll on top of that.
I'm fine with the no shit crit.
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay. And anybody else? That's 2 of you.
Sounds good to me. So it's a crit's just automatic max damage.
Automatic max. Yeah, automatic max damage. So say you roll a critical and you have a d12 with a +3 modifier. That's 15 damage plus whatever extra damage you would roll from your d12 and mod. Basically,
Cool. Sounds
like
good to
your
me.
yeah. So you get max damage plus added damage. And then by the book is just whatever you roll on top of whatever you roll. Then there's the 2 times whatever you roll times 2. So okay, if we want to change that to the no shit crit, then I'm good with that. Again, it's totally up to you guys. So yeah, if we're good with that, we're good with that. Sorry if you guys heard that. My girlfriend's yelling at her son. All right.
No.
Yeah, nah, he's a little shit. Okay, so experience points. Do you guys want to go with standard by the book experience like we did in the last session, or do you want to try to do milestone experience?
Personally, I prefer milestone, but I don't really care that way much either way.
Yeah, I like milestone.
Okay. Anybody else?
I'm fine with milestone.
Okay.
I'm good with anything.
I will do my best to accompany that, as it's a homebrew campaign. Yeah. And you guys are starting out at level 3. I'll try to keep a mental note and track it and kind of squeeze it in there when I can. So leveling up, and okay, so we already did our levels. We already did character descriptions. We don't have a recap to do because nothing has happened yet. One thing I will like to say, when you deal damage to a monster, kind of describe what's happening, because I like to keep things a little simulated. So if you roll a critical and you like aim for someone's limbs or eyes or head or chest or something like that, it might do a special effect, like a special damage type, right? If you critical strike someone in the arm, they're going to get a negative to their attack swing. Or if you hit them in the legs, they might get a penalty to movement, or their AC would drop. Or if you hit them in the eyes, now they're blind, right? So kind of describe what you're aiming for before you roll. That way, if you do crit, something cool could happen, right? And then with traveling and resting and stuff like that. So Baldur's Gate 3 has this campfire system. I'm sure you all played it or at least know about it, where you need campfire supplies. Mine's not going to be as heavily induced as that, but I'm going to bring that in as well. So if you travel to the north and it's snowing, or you're in inclined weather and you're unprepared for that, your short rest or long rest might not heal you to the fullest potential, because your characters would be uncomfortable or cold or wet or something like that, right? If you don't have enough supplies to feed the entire party, somebody might get penalized with hit points for not being totally sufficient and prepared. If you don't build a fire, don't have blankets, just different things like that might not let you heal to your full potential, because of whether just because like your character is not comfortable or something like that. Is that cool with everyone, or do you want to throw that out? It's too monotonous.
No, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when you go to search, and if generically I would just say you find like 5 supplies or whatever. If you're looking for a specific food item for a recipe or a craft or something, just say that you're looking for like a carrot or an apple or something specific, so that you can find it. Otherwise, it's just going to be, you know, in generic supplies.
Sure.
I don't think that there's much more going. Obviously no, like, well, obviously we're gonna try to keep the campaign to like PG-13. So if you guys want to chase romantic interest or have a night at the brothel, we're just gonna roll charisma, roll a constitution save, and you're either gonna have a good night or a bad night, wake up with an itch, and it's gonna fade to black. I'm not gonna erotic roleplay with anybody, I'm sorry. So I just want to put that out there. Yeah, so just don't be a creep, and it'll all be good. But you guys can have fun. We're all adults here. I'm sure I don't have to go into depth with that too much. So we got about an hour to play or so, because I know one of our players has to leave a little early, and I want to acknowledge that. And we've been going for about an hour. Do you guys want to jump into the story, or you want to save it for next week? That was quick and easy. The last time we were doing this, we were like still rolling characters, and we had a lot going on.
Way better than last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it. If people are down,
Let's do it.
All right. So let me drag you guys over to the scene. I'm gonna try my best to introduce you guys as you would be. You have awoken, well, some of you have awoken at the at the fuck at the Skylight Inn. We will call it the Golden Bell Inn. I have to drag you guys over here 1 second. There we go. If you would drag your tokens onto the field. I know you can't see anything right now. Okay, somebody lit up. Yeah. All right, you don't have dark vision, so I'm going to put you over here. Oh, you probably could have seen anyway. There's lighting in there. Shinty, we'll have you sitting at... Well, you guys can place your tokens wherever you want if you can see. If you cannot see, let me know and I'll fix those right away.
Is my
I
token
cannot
on?
see.
I can't see.
I only see 3 tokens. So who said that they can't see?
Diablo.
Zalik is one of them.
Yeah, I can't see either.
I don't see Zalik on the board at all.
Let me try refreshing or something.
And I see Diablo. So who else said that they can't see?
Me.
Who's-
I
who's-
cannot see either.
Who's me? Okay.
Sorry. Ranagar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're not on the board either. I probably have to drag you guys up. There you are, and there you are. Let's make sure that...
Oh, I can see.
Okay.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, you should be able to rotate your... or move your tokens. Valen said he can't see. Okay, that's
I
why.
cannot see anything.
Alright, how about
Oh,
now?
there we go.
Perfect.
Yes.
Alright, let me make sure that... Okay. You can still see, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. There was just a mess with the tokens. All right, so you guys have arrived at the you said you were a bartender, so we're going to put you behind the counter and we'll just spread you guys around the bar. I guess you guys can interact and talk. So around the bar, it seems to be a pretty slow night. There's not too many people here. There is a bard on stage performing an amazing symphony with his lute. His voice sounds almost euphoric, almost like just zen-like, basically. He's putting on a hell of a performance. As you look up there, you notice that features in his face seem to change with different notes and different styles. Give me a performance check.
Yep.
Okay, it's very average actually. He's just feeling himself tonight. There's not a big crowd, so he's just chilling. Behind the bar, you see a human, I believe, right? You're a human?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
See a human bartender washing some glasses. There's a barkeep next to him. He's a younger guy. Looks maybe in his mid-30s. He's kind of teaching you how to prepare different plates and pour different drinks. He says, wine and glass, fucking beer and tankard. It's not hard. Come on. You see a tiefling.
Glass.
You see a tiefling devouring some fish just at the table below the steps, and a what race is your sorcerer? Jesus, sorry, it's a lot to keep track of. Eldrin, kind of eyeing up the main buffet or walking toward the bar. Okay. Around you and other scattered tables. Oh, you also have a drow sitting at a table near the fireplace. So, sitting around the bar, there's also a couple patrons. You see 2 people over here in a darkened corner. They seem to be mummering and whispering to themselves. You see a couple couple half elves gambling over here. There's 3 of them, and they seem to be in a pretty high stakes game. Other than that, there's there's a single elf sitting here just enjoying some food, and he seems very agitated almost. He has this scowl on his face. Okay, so I guess also to prompt, when you first walked in this center room, when you guys first walked in, you noticed that there was a board posted on the wall. You didn't stop to look at any of the papers, but you did notice that there was a notice board over here. So we're not going to be in initiative at all. So if anybody wants to start interacting or doing whatever, just state your case.
Can I take a look at the guys here?
Yeah. Are you trying to spot something specific, or are you just taking a glance at them?
Yeah, like everyone's happy-go-lucky or just doing normal stuff, and there are these guys in the shadows, kind of
So
suspicious.
you see these two guys sitting at a shadow. One is significantly broader than the other, so he's more wide-shouldered compared to his counterpart, who seems to be a little more slender, and he almost has this like rat look face. He has a little goatee. His hair's shaved on the side, going back into like a ponytail. The broader gentleman next to him, he's, like I said, bulky. He has a big red bushy beard. He's bald on top, and they seem to be eating steak, murmuring to each other. You can't really tell what. Give me an insight check. I don't want to say you can't tell anything about them, but give me an insight check. That will help. Yeah, you can't really see like what type of mood or vibe they're putting off, but they seem to be in a they seem to be having quiet words back and forth. The broader guy seems to be a little bit more agitated than his hyper counterpart. You also can notice with your passive perception that there's that they have papers lined above their plates, and they seem to be like pointing and kind of arguing back and forth, but they're being real like discreet.
All right, I see. Does anyone else wanna do stuff?
If you cause maybe not a commotion, but like if it looks like anything interesting's happening over there, Zalek will come on over. But he doesn't know anyone at this point. He's just chowing down on fish, which is the first time he's ever eaten fish.
Yeah. Does he like it?
He's not sure what to think about it.
Hmm.
Wow. Dude, I wish we had this where I'm from. This is... I don't even know what to call it.
All right.
He's gonna look over at Eris and be like, yo, dude, have you ever eaten this? He holds up half of a fish as he just, like an animal, is just chowing down on it.
Yeah, and Duranigar's like, what is that thing? He's never seen the ocean before. He's never seen fish before. It's like, what is that thing? Can I take a look at what kind of creature that is?
You can
wanna
just
take a bite.
he holds out this just slimy baked fish. It looks really scrumptious if you knew what it was. Like it looks immaculately cooked, but it looks very greasy, and he just has this shine around his mouth. He's chomping, spitting food as he talks.
That's okay. You seem to be enjoying it, and I don't want to take that from you. I'm Ranagar. What's your name?
Hi, Ranagar. I'm Zalek. You want to see a
Nice
cool
to meet
trick?
you.
I can
Sure.
make anything taste like anything. I don't know how I can do it. My brothers always made fun of me. I couldn't do magic like them. They always were studying their books and stuff. But all of a sudden, I can do this. Look at this. And he casts prestidigitation on the same fish. Now it tastes like spicy.
It just tastes like spicy. That's awesome.
And then I can do it again. Tastes like fire flower now. You what's your favorite flavor?
I like really strong flavors, like poison, some yeah, very poisonous things.
Poison. I could try that. And at this point, the fish is like just the tail. You can see a little magic come out of his finger as he casts prestidigitation on the little bit of tail that's left. Here, try this. See if I did it right.
I take a bite and it's like, could be spicier.
Oh, if you wanted spicy, you should have just said that.
Yeah, well. Do you notice the guys here? Like, have you seen, do you see anything suspicious about them, Zayla?
And Zalek's gonna take a good look at them. Can I roll like a investigation or something?
Yeah.
See if he notices anything.
Yeah.
All right. And then we're level 3. I took the Pact to the Tome. It's a warlock thing you get at level 3.
Okay.
And you get it's either 2 or 3 cantrips. I think it's 3. One of those is guidance, so I'm just gonna guidance myself on that.
All right. Guidance is banned. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so 10. You notice that the skinny guy has a fine-looking dagger hanging by his hip. You can just tell that the blade looks a little it looks a bit more fancy. It has more precious metal to it. But I mean, they're in a dark corner. They're kind of hovering next to each other. You can't really like get a good look at like what they're currently wearing. The first thing that catches your eye is this dagger.
Well, it kind of depends on what you mean by sketchy, but I mean that guy's got a pretty shiny dagger. Back in Asmodeus, I saw something cool and shiny. I'd usually see if I could take it. Are you a stealthy guy? Maybe you can go get that dagger.
All right.
How about you share with them your whatever that creature you're eating is, and maybe strike up a conversation. Maybe we can work together in getting that back.
Okay. And Zalek immediately grabs another fish off his plate and happily walks over to these 2 gentlemen in the dark corner.
All right. Before we continue on to that, let's let other people kind of take a turn. So who else wants to interact with the environment or do whatever? As you walk over, there is a group of guards. There's 3 guards that come in and they just kind of find an empty table, or they walk up to the bar and sit down at the bar. All 3 of them right next to each other on this side.
Okay. I would kind of push past my boss, I assume, and just be like, all right, we got customers. What do you guys need? What do you guys want?
The guy in the center, he seems like an older gentleman. He has a peppered beard, clean cut, black hair, and he has a scar under his eye. He says, just give us 9 tankards.
9 tankards? All right.
You
how much would that be?
You peer over at your boss. He says, we've been through this, boy. It's a silver apiece. Come on.
All right, 9 silver, guys.
So they hand you 9 silver and they say, please leave us to our business.
He said, all right, sound good.
What's your passive perception?
10.
10. You notice that the gentleman on the far end of the bar right here has a tattoo on his arm of a kraken.
All right. I think I'll stay quiet, but keep a mental note of that.
Okay.
Just get them to tankards.
Alrighty. They slide you 9 silver and then chip you a gold piece for a tip.
Sweet.
Lothric, you're moving around. Do you want to do anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna move towards and maybe take a seat at the bar. And as the bar kind of comes up to me, seeing if I want a drink, I'll just kind of slowly wave them off as I start honing in on these 3 guards.
Okay.
And yeah, I'll stop there for right now, but I've moved over there.
Okay. You said you're gonna hone in on these guys. Are you listening to them? Are you just watching them, or?
Yeah, I'll be listening into what they're talking.
Okay. With a passive perception, or do you want to roll for it?
No, I'll keep it passive. I think I have a 13 passive perception.
Okay. All right. So Bard, you are here performing. You're starting to draw a little bit of the crowd. As one of the players leave the poker table, and they just kind of sit in the center right here and kind of watch you. Almost like they're kind of hiding something. Give me an insight check.
All right.
God damn. Okay. How was that not a critical? It's an 18. Okay. So you can tell that he's not really listening to your music. He's more or less watching your movements, watching your face change and the loot begin to glow. And he's just kind of staring at you almost inquisitively, like he's wondering something.
All right.
He's a halfling or a hobbit, you know. Long brown hair, not too long, more curly, so it like rises up on his shoulders a little bit. He's stouter. He sets a gold pouch down on the table, and he just kind of watches you. You cast vicious mockery?
No, I was just trying to look at it.
Okay. Call him a no nipple having bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just make sure that he knows that I'm looking at him.
Okay. I'm really trying to figure out how to get this moving, but it's all right. So what's your passive perception?
Whose?
Yours.
14.
14?
Yes, 14.
You can notice that he is wearing a he's wearing a pendant around his neck. You can't get a good look at like exactly what it is, but he's wearing some sort of pendant.
All right. I guess I'll try to wrap up my song. Look at my empty tip jar, spew a few curses in Elvish, and then I'll walk over to him.
All right. How do you approach? Like, are you just full front?
I'll
like
just walk right up to him.
All right. He looks up and he says, "That's quite the instrument you got there. Quite the fingers." He sounds genuinely impressed. I might not, but he does.
Yes, it is. What is your name?
My name is Egroth. I hail from the town of West Rock. I live in a small hamlet on the countryside of West Rock. And who are you? Where do you come from? We don't get many talented bards around here.
I am Valen. I am not from here.
I could tell. So where are you
Yes.
from? What brings you here?
Searching for a rock, strange as it may seem.
Well, there's plenty at the quarry. What's special about
It's a
this
special-
rock?
It's a special rock.
I might know a thing or two about rocks. I mean, this town is this county is ran by the mines, more or less. They hold all the jobs around here, right? They hold most of the employment. although they've been having their own troubles, but things seem to be suited. They seem to have it under control. So what's special about your rock?
Not sure if I want to divulge.
As you're talking to him and you got closer, the pendant around his neck is it's a wooden pendant with some sort of, it looks almost like a religious engraving. Give me a religious religion check. You can't tell what the fuck it
Very
is.
good.
He said, I have no time for deities. I am the god here. So he catches you looking at it and he kind of tucks it into his shirt. He says, you like my pendant? Well, you can't have it. This is the pendant of Hermes, and he'll protect us.
I do not want your pendant. I was just looking at it as you were looking at me as I was on stage.
Yeah, so I was enjoying the show. It is pretty miraculous. Be ashamed if something might happen to that precious loot. Where'd you get that?
I found it long while back. Was that a threat?
No, not at all. Just looking out for a stranger.
Sounded like a threat, but I'll keep that in mind.
Yes, well, the town is has been very unsafe recently, especially in the night hours. Crime and corruption runs rampant through the streets, mostly up near Section 7.
Section 7.
Yes, he says you haven't looked around the town yet. You haven't been sightseeing.
I have not.
He says, well, this might help you in your travels. How do I, give me just a second. I have a lot of stuff to look through. Sorry. Looking for you. You are Diablo. Okay. If you look at your journal, it's 2 or 3 tabs over. It's the single book. He hands you a map of the city. Yes.
That is helpful.
Yes, he says you'll find he says if you need anything, just refer to the map, but I would be wary of section 7, 6, and 2. Though that side of the river seems to be the roughest, especially at night. There's a lot of thieves and burglars that are in this city. The guards don't seem to care much, and he says that part a little loud considering the guards are just feet away.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you for the input.
Well, if you don't mind, I have a drink that I have earned. Do you want one?
If you're offering, sure.
Okay, and he kind of waddles over to the bar, and if you want to follow, you can follow. All right, trying to, again, take turns here, so let's go back to Zalik. You waddle. So as all that conversation and, the guards walk in and whatnot, trying to rewind time just a little bit, you approach the 2 gentlemen in the corner here with your fish. They just kind of stare up at you.
Howdy, fellas.
So,
You guys want to see a magic trick?
what kind? The bulkier man says.
Here, take a bite of this fish. And he reaches out to the person closest to him.
Okay. It's the rat man. It says
Mr. Ratman.
yeah, he's the rattier looking character. Like, you know, if he had buck teeth, like think of what was the character from Harry Potter that transformed into a rat? I forget. Think of him.
Peter Pettigrew.
Yeah, think of him, just awfully skinny. Like, I'm talking year 2 Ron Weasley skinny.
Okay.
Yeah.
I reach out with the fish and I say, take a bite.
Give me a charisma check if you haven't already.
Absolutely. Should I do a persuasion since I'm trying to persuade him to
Yeah, sure.
take a little munch?
You can intimidate him with the fish.
Hang on, my UI is being weird again. What is...
In the meantime, which one of them has the dagger?
The skinny man. The one he's talking to. So
And
he is a little distracted. Okay. He takes the fish from you and he says, "Why do you want me to eat your food?"
Just take a little bite. Tell me what it tastes like.
He looks at the big man and he takes a nibble out of the belly of the fish. What's it supposed to taste like? He says it tastes like chocolate.
No, I'm not really too familiar with fish, but it tastes like fish, right?
No, it tastes like chocolate. Born, you gotta try this. The bulkier man says, no, I'm not trying this fish. Chocolate, you say? He said, yeah, it tastes like chocolate. So after a little back and forth, Boren is not tasting your fish. Says, "Oh man, you're missing out." He says, "Can I have the rest of this?"
Yeah, we'll check this out. What's your favorite food? What's your favorite flavor?
He says, I like I kind of have a fondness for cinnamon."
Cinnamon, say no more. And Zayla casts prestidigitation on the fish to make it taste like cinnamon.
Okay. I'm just rolling a general roll. This isn't for really anything. He's awfully impressed. Awfully impressed. He just keeps eating it. He's not even talking. He says, "You guys try this fish." Boren says, "All right, enough of your parlor tricks. What do you want?"
Well, honestly, I just trying to make some friends. I don't really know how I got here. I kind of just fell out of the sky of where I was and back in Asmodeus. And
So the skinny man interrupts and says, "Boren, he's a god. He made this taste like cinnamon. He's a god."
well, I have been told that a few times, but mostly I'm told I'm not very good at magic. Kind of just learned how to do this pretty recently. Isn't it pretty cool?
Boren, are you okay? I assume you're talking to both of them. The skinny man shaking his head, "Yeah, it's awesome." Boren, however, doesn't seem so enthused about your magic abilities. He says, "Yeah, well, the church might say otherwise."
Okay, well, hey, fellas. Is that a glass of water I see on the table?
Yes.
Zalek's gonna cast shape water and pull the water out of the glass and make like a funny animal, basically a funny shape with it. Check this out, guys.
While they're distracted, can I come closer and maybe closer to the skinny guy?
Yeah. What?
The dagger. Say, "Oh, I see you've met my friend Zalek here," and then I kind of is the dagger around? It's around his neck, right?
No, it's attached at his hip. It's like on his belt.
Oh, is it possible for me to sleight of hand it?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Zalik. Yeah, you can do it with advantage. Zalik has both of their attentions.
Ooh, nice. Okay. So Sorry, is the scabbard like, I don't know, diamond encrusted
No,
gold as well, or is it just
it just
normal
has a gold.
scabbard?
It's a wooden handle with a golden trim to it.
Oh, can I steal both the scabbard and the dagger?
There was just the dagger. What's this? The scabbard. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, it's just a dagger. It's no. Okay.
Yeah, there was just the
I'll
dagger.
use scabbard's dagger. So I'll chime in, kind of talk to them, and steal it from Skinny Guy.
God damn. Okay.
Hey.
All right.
Hey.
Not lucky.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you nicked the dagger off of him. So again, you got a trimmed dagger. It doesn't. The blade doesn't seem anything out of the ordinary. It just seems like a normal dagger. It just has that golden trim to it for whatever reason. It doesn't seem like anything special or magic or anything. It's just a finely crafted dagger.
Cool. So I'm gonna put it in my bag, I guess, and I'll talk to them like, hey, what's up with you guys? Like, are you guys, you guys new here, or what kind of business do you have here?
What business do we have? Boren says, and he says, knock off that witchcraft. He's pointing at Zalik with his water animals, and he just kind of lets the water go and splashes on the table. He says the business we have here is we provide food for here. We get free meals because we're out hunting all day, and we have a contract with this barkeep. We hunt animals, we bring him animals, we eat animals for free.
Oh man, sorry, out of character. Like, man, I was so wrong. They just looked suspicious. They weren't
Well,
suspicious at all.
No,
Can I? Oh, sorry.
I mean,
I could do an insight check on them first to see if they're telling the truth or not.
yeah, go right ahead.
In listening to this back and forth, I will also.
Ooh, another nat 20.
Oh, okay, I won't even bother rolling that.
Okay.
There's no point.
So, as he explains that they're one of the hunters of the city of Skylight, you do notice that they are dressed as woodsmen. They have fur boots. They're wearing leather tabards. They got like fur hoods, and they do look like woodsmen. You notice that they have bows behind them with quivers leaned up against the stairs, but you do know that there is more that they're not telling you. But in all purposes, they are telling the truth that they are huntsmen.
I see.
In one of the just off your passive perception or whatever, the gloves that the bulkier man is wearing, he has antlers stitched on both tops of his gloves, like on his hands. He has antlers stitched on both gloves. But you can tell that there's more that they're obviously not telling you, because why would they tell you more? You're a stranger.
So, in my backstory, there was a guy with a kraken tattoo. Where is that kraken tattoo on the guy? Is it on his neck or on his hand or something?
Give me a investigate.
Okay.
And Zalik, what's your passive perception?
Zalik's passive perception is 14.
14. Okay. You can see the papers as the water fell and you watched it fall or whatever. The papers that are laying on the table, you can tell that one of them is a map. Off of your investigation roll, you noticed that the skinny man has some sort of tattoo creeping up his neck, the back of his neck, like from his spine, but the bulkier man doesn't seem like he has any visible tattoos.
All right. So you guys are woodsmen? You're hunters? You guys are familiar with this area?
He says, yeah, we're pretty familiar with it.
What? Where exactly is here? I did mention before. I haven't really been here too long. It almost sounded like my dad's voice, but something told me to come to the Sunshine Inn or Sunlight Inn, or
Well,
I can't remember at this point.
well, you've made it to the Golden Bell Inn, and you are in the city of Skylight. It's one of the capital port cities in the region. How do you not know about this place? It's quite famous.
What is the region? Where I'm from, where we have a lot of fire and beautiful volcanoes, and I miss swimming in the lava streams. Looks a lot different than here. I don't really.
This
know where
creeps
I
the
am.
skinny man out. He says, "Boy, we got to get out of here. He's a devil. He's not a god." He begins to try to get up in a bit of a hurry. Kind of scared him there.
Whoa!
He says,
the word
"Fire and
devil's
brimstone. He's a
offensive.
devil."
Oh, devil's a very insulting thing to call someone like me. Just because just because I have horns, it's a very mean thing to say.
He says, look, we don't want no trouble. just leave us. And Boren's kind of like, just sit down. What, he says, well, devil, what brings you over here to interrupt our meal?
Well, I'm really just trying to make some friends, being new here and all. I want to make some friends and learn more about where I am and go on adventures.
He says, well, that seems like a personal conquest of yours, and we don't deal in friends. You're not going to find many friends here in Skylight, or you might if you check the local brothels, but not here.
All right. Well, sorry to bother you, Phil. Hey, is that a tattoo? I was thinking of getting one of those about a year ago. That's pretty cool, man. What is that?
You're talking to the skinny man. Roll a charisma. He's pretty scared of you. And
Just black
Lothric.
charisma?
Yeah, well, persuasion, intimidation, whatever, or
Do a persuasion, trying to get him to talk about his tattoo. Throw guidance on myself.
he says, golly. All right, Lothric just dropped out of the call. Hopefully he comes back. So he kind of tries to cover it up and shoot your hand away or whatever. At least that's what I'm assuming. The energy you're putting off, you seem pretty excited in their face and stuff like that. He says it's nothing. This whole thing it's a tattoo of a sword. Why? Do you want a tattoo? Well, there's tattoos inside. You can get a tattoo from the from the artist in section 2.
Really? I always wanted a tattoo. I tried getting one a little whiles back, but well, I guess I got myself into some trouble and it didn't work out in my favor, but that's pretty cool, man.
Wait, real quick. Can I do an insight check on him saying that it's just a tattoo of a sword?
Yeah.
Because like Reniger's ears perked up when he heard tattoo.
Yeah.
Insight.
You can tell he didn't. You can tell he's definitely like lying, or he's trying to cover up what the tattoo is. It seems like the answer he gave was like the first thing that came to his head. Can we take a small pause here and go to Shente or Ignacio? Ignacio?
So sorry with the name.
Sure thing.
What is it?
Ignacio?
Ignacio. Okay, that's what I said. I can't help it. I got this. I got an accent too, buddy.
Dude, that's gonna
Just
mess
call-
with me. My character, in my other campaign's name is Ignis. Ignacio, so similar.
Oh man.
All right. So you guys are over here. Again, I'm gonna try to message.
I think they're gone. They said in the chat that they're.
Just found out I have to hop off at 10. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right, yeah, that's a shame. Okay, so yeah, he's stepping out. That's fine. We're not gonna be here for much longer. Anyhow. Okay, so yeah. Where were we? I'm sorry. So we're over here at the bar. Ignacio, it's your turn. I want to move over to this conversation and, kind of
So
give each other.
the bard and the other guy just walked up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was sitting right here and the bard is, approaching.
Yeah, I'll just walk over and be like, "Hey, what you guys need? What do you want?" Just repeat that same line.
Yeah. The bartender says, "I'll be in the back if you need me." And he steps through this door and then he shuts it and you hear a lock.
Okay.
Okay, so you're talking to the bard? You said, "What will you have?"
Yep.
This fine gentleman has offered to purchase me a drink.
He says 2 wine. He says, "We need 2 glasses of red wine."
2 wines coming up. All right, and then struggle to remember how much wine costs. 5 silver each.
He says, "Okay," he tosses you 10 silver. He says,
Alright.
"That lad, we just got that off of a bargain." It's not going to be really important or anything. All right, so what is everybody's in this area's passive perception?
14.
I'm
And-
14 if I'm in that area. I don't know the definition of that.
Yeah, no, you're not in that area. Just over here by the bar. So, Ignacio, what's your passive perception?
10.
10? Okay, so a
Yep.
14 and a 10. You can hear the guards murmuring to each other a little bit. You're picking up a couple words, but not the full conversation. They seem like they're talking like they're in distress, and they keep mentioning the Dunbuck mine, but in what context you can't really pick up.
What do you think they're talking about? Just lean over the bar, whispering.
Sounds like they're talking about the mine.
Yeah.
Don't know anything of it other than that this guy said that there is a mine.
I look at the other guy. What do you know about the mine? I'm new around here.
Are you looking at the Hobbit or are you looking at the other PC? Because
The Hobbit,
the Hobbit,
right?
he
Yeah,
says,
the guy who came with.
yeah, he says the mines they've been under siege for quite some time. The orcs have been raiding their camps recently and taking people from smaller villages and forcing them to work there. Not all mines have been taken over though, but I did hear rumors that the mine just a few miles out of town was one of the most recent targets of an attack.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, well, that ain't none of my business. That's their business. If I wanted to be a guard, I would not be born a hobbit.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll try listening in on the guards' conversation.
All right, give me a perception.
Perception. I think that's just a flat. Yeah, it's just flat.
Oh, an 18. That's nice.
18.
You don't have no bonuses to perception? You should have some.
No, I'm it's a flat 0.
Dang. All right.
Yeah.
Either way, 18's a really good roll. So as you listen in a little bit more, you can't really tell which guard is actually talking as they're, just chatting amongst themselves, but you do pick up more details. He says, trying to come up, he says Carpasus. Yes. These attacks are coming closer to town. They're getting awful close to Skylight. We got to do something. And then Carpasus says, there's no need to worry. Fucking Steve. I can't say Steve. That's a generic name. There's no need to worry. Shanty, I guess. That's a awful generic name too. Whatever, his name's Shanty. He says there's no need to worry. The orcs will not plan. They wouldn't think about attacking the capital like this. We got bigger problems to worry about. We got stolen goods coming up missing from the warehouse, and we should focus on that. Then the guard way far at the end, he says, both of you are going off of conspiracies. Both of you are chasing ghosts. Everything is grand around here, and it will continue to be grand around here. Markets haven't been higher. Like our gold is increasing. He's kind of like taking an economic approach. Like he's saying, look, man, the profits are up and business is good. You guys are chasing ghosts. He said the other guy, Shanty, chimes in. He goes, yeah, but there's been reports of shipments coming in lighter than usual, missing full containers, and there has to be somebody behind this. And he says, not only that, the center guy says, and not only that, there's been major reports coming from the surrounding smaller villages of raiders coming in at night, and not even orcs, just bandits are kidnapping people. That seems a bit extreme for a bandit. They have to be working together with somebody about this. And the guy with the tattoo just kind of nonchalantly says, this isn't the place for a discussion. If you guys want new assignments, go talk to the captain. Don't talk to me about this. I'm here on my break.
All right. So I'll lean into the other guys and just kind of retell them about all that stuff.
Okay.
Be like, man, that guy in the end is kind of a dick.
Sounds like they have a lot of problems.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Well, if there's nothing else, if you guys don't want to try to talk to him or whatever, the barman comes back out, and he leaves the door open this time, and he says, "What are you standing around for? Clean something." And he walks over to the guards, and he goes, "Is this guy serving you guys?" He goes, "Yeah." The center guy goes, "Yeah, he's serving us just fine. We could use some food. You guys got any venison?" And barman kind of nudges at you and says, "Go get their meat, boy." Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know what I said. Okay.
All right.
Are you able to
Yeah, I
walk through
guess,
that door? All right, walking. I decorated this whole place by myself. I fucking built this, so I expect some woes. Yeah. No, I sometimes I do streams where I build maps. I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. This is an original creation. I thought I did good. Anyway, So you step into the kitchen, you see that there's a bunch of ingredients around and whatnot. Do you have any cooking skill?
I don't think I do actually. Yeah, no, I don't.
All right, try your best. they want 3 plates of venison. Noticing around, you see a stove, you see a hearth, like a baking oven, a bunch of ingredients on the counters, and you see this cellar door here. It has a padlock on it.
Well, I do have skills in thieves' tools. Can I try to pick the lock?
Do you have thieves' tools?
Oh, let me see. No,
Oh, well then
I
you,
don't.
you can examine the lock, but or maybe you can find something in the kitchen to fit.
Okay, I'll do an investigation, I guess.
On what?
Try to find something. Try to find something to pick the lock.
Okay.
Maybe like a knife or something. Let me see. Great. This one is a +1.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Looking around the different looking around the kitchen, you do manage to find like little metal they're almost like toothpicks, but they're metal, right? And they're like used to they're used to hold like larger sandwiches together or to decorate different like plates and stuff. You do find something that's small and made of metal, and you wander over to the locked cellar.
and then I try to pick the lock. That would be sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless there's something like open lock or something like that, I imagine it would be sleight of hand.
Yeah. Oh,
As the piece of metal does fit in the lock, you can't get it to wiggle. It's a perfect fit, but it's too perfect of a fit. You can't really wiggle it around.
By the way, if you want to do checks, you can just click the name of the skill check and it'll roll it for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you on your character sheet, yeah, you can just click the I didn't realize that's what you weren't doing.
Yeah, you don't have to like roll dice and then add it in there. It'll all do it for you.
So all right, let's move on to Valen. What's your plan here? Anything?
I
There's-
guess noticing the ruckus that is happening over here.
Okay.
I'm gonna start walking over there and see what's going on.
All right. You walk up and they seem to be in a conversation. There seems to be a bit of a heated conversation almost. The rat-looking guy looks a little scared. The bulkier guy seems to be over the whole situation. And there's a tiefling and an eldrin that are asking them a lot of questions. So let's pick up the conversation here then. Anybody want to kind of remind me where we were at?
I just did an insight and could tell that they weren't being totally honest with
Oh yeah, about the
the
tattoo.
tattoo.
Yeah. So do you want to press him further about his tattoo, or do you want to leave it alone?
Maybe kind of hint that I know that they're not telling the truth. Like, are you sure it was a tattoo or sword? Kind of just have a feeling.
All right, roll a perception and sorry, I'll get used to this. Valen, what is your passive perception?
14.
14. Okay, you notice on the table that there is a map of there's a couple maps on the table. You can't really tell of what. They look like city maps, but they look not like normal city maps. They look hand drawn almost.
Hmm.
That's a perception, not a persuasion.
Oh, I thought you said something like that. Oh, dude.
Man, just coded for only nat 20s. Holy shit!
I
That's like
know,
the third
right?
one.
Yeah, that's more like it.
He
That's more like it.
the man gets a little offended and he says, "It's none of your business what my tattoos are. If you want some, go to the second district. Borg, we should leave."
Wait. Before you guys go, are these I've heard there's magic tattoos. Are these those? And basically what I'm asking, are these like from the book Tosh's, are these those tattoos or is it just like a normal tattoo shop?
He says they're just normal tattoos. I'll have to out of character, out of game, I'll have to do a little bit of research and dig into that. But yeah, this is just it's just a normal tattoo.
Before they leave, can I tell them like, hey, if you need a guide through the Underdark, yeah, I'm your guy. It's I can show you the wonders.
These truly look like men who are definitely going to go to the Underdark.
And consider you someone friendly, given the interaction.
They kind of look at each other and say, and Bourne says, "Is everybody in this town a devil? I'm out of here." Seems kind of.
Have you never seen a tiefling before?
Whoa, I said devil defense.
It's kind of racist.
He says, "Who are you? Where did you come from?"
The stage, and then the bar, and then here.
Well, I'm over it. He's asking about tattoos. He's talking about the Underdark. He's talking about fiery infernos. I am not enjoying my stay here. I'll have to talk to the owner about their next meat shipment.
All right, goodbye.
I'm
You guys are
going
kinda-
to transform
You guys,
into him, and then I'm gonna go "Brr, brr, brr, stuck in my ways."
oh my god. So would that be vicious mockery or would that be intimidation?
No,
What would this
just-
be?
It's not. I just wanted to poke fun.
Just mockery, no vicious.
Yeah, just normal mockery.
This scares the shit out of them. And they were going to say excuse me, but they just kind of push past you guys or try to. I'm going to roll a strength check for both of them. But yeah, they're fucking terrified. So the bigger man, Jesus Christ. Wait, why did
Oh my god.
Oh no, not 26. Not 26. One rolled a 12, one rolled a 14. So the bigger man rolls a 12. We'll give him a +2 on that, so 14. And he's going to attempt to push aside Valen and just get the fuck out of there because he's scared. And the other guy, he has a negative to his strength because he's smaller, obviously. And he's going to try to push past Ragnar to get out of there. He says, "We're out of here. We're done." And do you guys want to let him go or do you want to try to stop them? That's up to you.
I don't care. I'm letting him go.
He says this place.
Oh man, I kind of want to really see the tattoo because it's Kraken. It's supposed to be a Kraken tattoo. Someone maybe a clue on what happened to me, but just let him go for now.
All right,
Maybe
so
we'll meet each other again.
They bolt out of the bar and they say, shit, I never gave the bartender a name, did I? Good. He says, "Angus, we'll be back to discuss this and the people you let in here," and they run off. But in their hurry, they left the map on the table.
Ooh.
Take a look
Isn't
at
it
that map.
soaking wet because Zalek
Yeah,
dropped his shape water all over it?
Yeah, it's a little wet, but it's still legible. I ain't gonna. I made that happen. I ain't gonna punish that. I made
No,
that
Zalek
happen.
would just shape water again and pull the water out of the paper.
All right, fair enough.
Guys, what is this? Pulls the water out.
So
Looks like a map.
yes, it does. It is a map. Imagine. I don't believe I have something drawn up for this. This wasn't supposed to happen until like way later in the campaign, but that is okay. So you see a map, and I'll get one prepared for next session, but you pull up this map, and it seems to be a type of, like I said, it's more lines than anything, but you do notice that there's writing and like kind of landmarkers. Like you see the church, you see the general goods store marked in section 2, you see the tattoo shop marked in section 2. You also up in section, let me find this map so I can keep it accurate. I've pulled this thing up like 100 times already. All right, so yeah, you see the pub that you're standing in section 1, and then in section 8 you see multiple points of entry, and it's just a bunch of lines. It's almost like it's maybe an underground type of map. You also see the warehouse in section 6 marked, and another storehouse in section 4 marked. And there's just a bunch of lines. You can, maybe they're roads, maybe they're alleys, maybe they're something. You need to learn a little bit more about what you're looking at, but it does seem like not a common type of map, right? This isn't something somebody's gonna just hand out.
Well, I don't know what I'm looking at, but this looks pretty cool. And then he looks over to Ignacio, right? Diablo, you're Ignacio?
No, Valen.
Valen. He looks over to Valen. Hey, I'm Zalik. Are you from around here?
I am not from around here.
Oh, me too. Where are you from?
Not here.
I get going now.
Do
Me
what?
neither.
Do what?
I gotta go. No.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. We're gonna be wrapping up. That is perfectly fine. So let
See
me.
Eris.
Thank you guys for the session. I'll see you guys 2 weeks from now.
Yep, in 2 weeks. Okay, so who
Yeah.
else?
See you then.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for joining. Thanks for showing up. Sorry we couldn't get further, and sorry that I kind of rushed this session. Like I said, it's gonna be a little rough to get you guys heading in the right directions. I'm trying to put the appropriate starting points in here. Trying. But you did find something. You found something of interest. It's a lead, right?
Yeah, it's all good. See you guys next week. I mean,
All
2
right.
weeks from now. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
see ya.
See you.
Yep.
See Eris.
See ya. See you guys. Nice to meet you.
Yep. All right, so yeah, should we just wrap up there, or do you guys want to?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably. I wasn't planning on doing much outside of the tavern. I was just gonna kind of interact with like maybe the bartender.
Yeah.
Or no, wait, isn't Zalen or Valen? Are you the bartender? One of the player characters
No.
was the bartender.
Ignacio, he acquired a job here.
That's Chente.
Like that
yeah.
same day.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I was just planning on kind of interacting. Zalik's adventure seeker. He kind of is just trying to meet people. So I was gonna, at some point, wander over, and be like, "Hi," blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
But if
yeah.
we want to cut it now, I'm okay with that. I want to respect
Well,
people's time.
Yeah, that's fine. And I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, there is a starting point with everybody in the bar right now. From the gamblers at the table, the guards, the guys you scared off, that notice board sitting over here. There's vices here to get you in the direction. It's just a matter of role playing to find information. But you did get a key piece to you did get a key piece to one of the story branches, and that's that map. I'll have to draw it up, and I'm sorry I didn't have it prepared. I didn't have a lot of this
you're good.
prepared. I've been, like I said, I've been working a lot this week, and I just really didn't have time to sit down and brainstorm and prep stuff. So I'm sorry that this session was a little rough. But the session 0 and character introductions went really quick. We established house rules pretty swiftly. So yeah, like I said, this next session or two is going to be a lot of role playing and stuff like that. Or if you guys just venture out and kill shit. The way I like to run my adventures is pretty much in a sandbox type of mindset, where whatever you do, wherever you go, whoever you talk to, there will always be something to learn, to discover, or to kill. There's always something planned ahead. Whether I have a map made for that, like a battle map made for that, or if I just have to randomly generate one or whatever, there will always be something to do and discover, even if I have to sit here and hand draw it real quick, you know? So I might not have a map made for everything, but there is everything, you know, the world's your oyster. That's just kind of how I like to run things. And they will eventually circle back to the main plot. I would like this to be a long-running campaign, so I'm not really worried about time or how long you guys are advanced through a story or discover your own story, you know, stuff like that. I'm not real good with words. I apologize. What I'm getting at, what I'm getting at is I would like this to be a long-term campaign. If you guys are on board for that, great. If not, I can always railroad it to get you from point A to point B and have freedom in between that. But, you know, however you guys would like to play. We're new with each other. We're strangers with each other for the most part. We've had a couple sessions, but, you know, not a whole lot, right? So it's just a matter of getting to know each other's preferences and what you guys enjoy.
Yeah, I'm down for a longer campaign as well. But we're gonna have to kind of play it by ear. You know, we ran into some issues with the people scheduling problems.
Yeah, and
previously, I mean, Chente and Diablo, you guys, I think you guys are great additions. Really enjoying your
Thank you.
characters.
I mean, you showed up, hell yeah. But yeah, and that
You guys got cool characters, good role playing. Like I think we're set up for a cool campaign here. I think.
yeah, and that plays in the part where it affected my readiness to restart at a new location and this and that. Like we could have just restarted from point A where you guys already started in that, you know, in that prison camp or whatever. But I felt like that might have been a slap in the face or not as fun to replay everything that you just replayed, go through another, you know, 2 hours, 4 hours of combat, right? I just felt like it would just be refreshing to you guys to start somewhere new, take a different approach to the beginning. And then to start it at level 3, I felt like that would be the most appropriate thing because you guys earned that level from 1 to 3, you know? And I didn't want to take that progress away from you. I felt like that would be a total slap in the face on top of having to replay through what you've already played. You know, I could have, we could have escaped from that prison and then met these guys, you know, later down the road. But I wanted to get them involved into the story as soon as everyone else was also. So it's a little rough.
You're good, man.
This
you're
is
good. I don't think, especially if we're doing milestone XP, I don't think playing level 1 or 2, I don't think anyone's missing out on any like crucial or particularly enjoyable gameplay. Like it's fun, but like it's not. I don't think anyone's missing out, in my opinion, my viewpoint.
Yeah. Okay.
Started out at level 1 many times.
Yeah, and that's
I don't think
what
anyone
these guys
misses
did.
something big.
Yeah, these guys did the same thing. Okay, yeah, I have to delete this letter. Well, I kind of want to keep. I kind of want to keep that. I just don't want it to be in anybody's pockets from the last session.
Well, yeah, I was gonna kind of ask this to y'all. Do y'all want to like look around this tavern before we call it, or do we want to call it now?
I think just because a lot of the people have left. I think it's probably better if we just call it and then
Okay.
pick up with everybody else.
Yeah. So
Sounds good.
yeah, you just like I said, every story branch is inside the tavern right now. I'm sorry that it started a little rough. I don't want to say I was put on the spot, but I wasn't exactly prepared either, and that is on me for not being totally prepared. But yeah, it's there is a cohesive story here. It's just a matter of discovering it through characters and, you know, getting introduced. So I do appreciate you guys for showing up. That's awesome. Our next session is going to be on the 20th. We play every 2 weeks. So that way I do have time to make maps, to flush out stories, to get, you know, directions and stuff like that. A week ago I was like 3 or 4 weeks ahead of the campaign, but due to this restart I now have to reorganize notes and stuff like that. So that every other week schedule just helps me prep, and it doesn't like totally encroach on your guys's other, you know, personal lives. So our next session will be on the 20th, and then followed by that on the 4th, and so on and so forth. If you guys want to play weekly, I'm totally down to do weekly. That would just have to be a unanimous group thing, you know, for you guys to decide on what you want to do.
All right.
I'm down for weekly, but it's up to the rest of the members.
Yeah.
For me personally, I'm down for weekly, but I'm also cool with bi-weekly if that fits everybody's schedule. And I know everyone's got their own life. It's hard to coordinate.
Yeah, like we're all adults here, you know, we have lives outside of D&D. So for now, the next session will be on the 20th. I'll throw up a vote in the group chat and see if you guys want that to change or not. So alrighty.
All right.
All right, I'll try to take some time this week and get that map drawn out and see what these guards have to say, see what the map is about, and whatever else you guys decide to do. Talk to me throughout the week about your characters or whatever. Keep me updated with if you can make it, not make it, stuff like that. Just keep me in the loop as far as the game goes, and I'll keep you in the loop as far as the game goes, and any issues beyond that. So
All right.
and we'll be able to better flush out, you know, directions and stuff like that. So yeah, without me keeping you guys here and talking in circles, I think it's a good spot to end. You got a quest item. That's a good start for something so off the cuff. Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the sesh. Good session.